All right, I'm the Fly Rate Master, and today we're going to talk about multimeter-DVOM accessories you need to have. Now, one of the first things I'm going to talk about is probably one of the most often things not done: replacing your leads. A lot of times when I would help another technician and they'd be using a DVOM, I would come over there and find the stock leads, the original leads from 8, 10, 12 years ago, whenever they got their multimeter, and I hate them. One of the biggest things I want is to be able to swap tips. You can't do that with most stock ones. And a lot of the stock cables are just junk already. The DVOM might actually be good. These might be holding you back. Now, these are either Pomona, a Fluke company, or Fluke wires. I will link some of this stuff in the description, but these are something I always replace every time I get a DVOM, every time I have to replace one. This is probably my 5th or 6th set of these because they also need to be verified every so often that they're still good. Anytime you do an ohm check, don't get me started on ohm check. It has some value, other times it doesn't. But before you do a ohm check on anything, you need to use your multimeter and ohm check your wires. I had one guy that was testing and he'd be sitting there testing and all of a sudden the ohms would go through the roof, and what would happen is he'd move the wire. So always ohm check your wires and shake them a little bit, make sure the readings stay consistent. But get you a set of these style that you can put different tips on. Now, of course, get you different tips. Alligator clips, probes like this one, all come in handy. First things first, get yourself some Velcro straps for your power probe because these always tangle. But one of the great things that also can be done with these leads is you can put them in a power probe. If you need to remote into something or you're using an extension or something like that, you can use it with a power probe. Now, don't put a lot of voltage through this. Don't be running a fuel pump on it. It probably will melt, maybe. You can test. If you're using a power probe, you can also use these Pomona style leads to test. Another accessory you really need to have, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments for this, is piercing probe. This one's from Pomona. There's plenty of knockoffs on Amazon. Probably made at the same plant. Do not recommend this power probe one. It kind of just sucks. When you pierce, liquid electrical tape. As long as you fix the hole, it's not a big deal. But you need to make sure and go back and fix the hole. Now, another thing you need to have is back probes. Now, this set is from Pico. It's just out of my Pico set. I've got several of these. They're ubiquitous. They're just, back probes. Now, you can use a clamp like this and a T-pin or a sewing pin, etc. T-pins are just easier. You don't have to worry about the connection with this. Let's talk back probing versus piercing. Now, back probing is great when the vehicle is stationary, when the engine's not moving, your wires aren't moving. But a lot of times if you're watching for like a glitch, like you're, using a scope and you go to, like rev the engine to try to capture something happening, same with the DVOM, if the connection drops out for a second, DVOM not as critical, but you can think there's a problem that's there that isn't. So it's really important when you have engine movement, stuff like that, or the wires might be moving, because you'll have a much more secure connection piercing over back probing. Sorry, it's the way of the world. Pierce, fix the wire. You don't have to worry about dropping connection because your wire moved a little bit. Trust me, it happens. So we've talked back probing. Let's talk front probing. Don't ever do this. Don't ever put this in a front connector. You will damage and spread the pins. You're giving somebody else, maybe you, a future problem. You're going to spread the pins, shoving something like this into a connector. Get you a set like this. This is from Matco. It's rebranded. We know it is. 54-piece automotive connector piece test kit. Now, the best one of these on the market is from AES Wave. I do not have an affiliate link for them. every time I've tried to buy it, it's been out of stock, so I haven't been able to buy it. So for instance, I've got the snap-on kit as well, but the thing of it is you need a kit like this. After many years of using this Matco kit, breaking, losing, and not wanting to go through the rigmarole of trying to figure out what was missing, I went to go buy it from AES Wave, and of course it was out of stock again. So I bought the snap-on kit, and you'll see it in the B-roll, but get a kit like this. It makes it so much easier and much better when it comes to testing, for instance, just resistance of an O2 sensor or something like that. So this is my old tester for a Honda O2 sensor heater. It's just a bulb soldered to an old O2 sensor. Plug it in, turn the car on. If it lights up, heater works. It would look good on B-roll, so that's why I have it. So I hope this video was helpful. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.